wanted to bring to you 3 examples that I'd heard about. And Sarah, maybe you're smiling because I was thinking about the time that Bering Strait set aside in January after the RTI and MTSS conference for principals to stay in Anchorage a little bit longer and actually have time to develop their professional learning calendars and plans, and actually have a plan and resources for each time. Sir, would you be up for speaking to that just a little bit?
Sure, and actually it was really cool because it gave, we wanted to focus on the framework that we'd been working on as a state, and wanted to make that our focus. And so we were, as a group of counselors, actually able to stay and facilitate that that session with the principals, actually walking them through the framework. Some of them had seen it, some of them had not, and were not very familiar with it at all. But we took some time to actually dive in and get them working specifically and thinking specifically, how do we translate this amazing resource into hands-on, what kind of tools can we pull from this on our own sites? Because we always get conversations and pushback in our district, I'm sure others too, that, you know, each site is a little bit different. We have so many different sites and it's got to look a little bit different for each one. So we wanted to acknowledge that and say, and now here's our time. Let's spend a little time together, brainstorming some things together, and then buy some time to actually, I think they came back and revisited the next day without us counselors, but laying out and then kind of finalizing what that was going to look like in their own sites. And so one of the things we really appreciated is that was a great dialogue between admin and counseling staff. We really appreciated that too.
Thanks, Sarah, for being willing to be on the spot and jump in and describe that. So really highlighting that planning time, highlighting that collaboration between principals, counselors, and then how that translates to the relevance for school staff. I wanted to bring forward to Hoonah, and I don't think we have anybody from Hoonah in the circle right now. But what I wanted to highlight about Hoonah is that they are using, it's called the Trauma Academy, and it's an online library of videos. And so staff has access, all staff have access to those. And they are assigned, there's like a calendar of when video modules need to be watched, and people are responsible for watching the module on their own. So there's some asynchronous work that happens. And then there's a calendar, a plan, again, for when learning communities are meeting to talk about those modules. And in every staff meeting, they come back to that academy in some way to have some discussion about what people have been watching. So I wanted to highlight that embedded and sustained piece of using this resource, this online Trauma Academy. And be thinking about this when Tyler takes us on a tour of our discussion, our online discussion forum, because I think it could be used in a similar kind of way that Hoonah is using their Trauma Academy. And then the last example that I wanted to highlight comes from the Anchorage School District, which happened, I think, back in 2017. Marcus Wilson was telling me about the district-wide learning that happened, where on that day, principals or other leaders in the school had a facilitator guide, had video modules, and had a day of professional learning in which the community, families, and community members were invited to come in and share in that learning together, and had lunch together to keep the conversations going over lunch.